When I was in London, I decided to visit a bar where there were lots of people playing chess because this was part of a big event. And so I was playing chess against lots of people, but after a while, I started hearing whispers that there was a guy that was really good. And he decided to sit down in front of me and be my next chess opponent. So I was really intrigued. Who was he? How good was he? And what was his story? Well, I was going to figure that out for myself in our chess game.
Haru, you have like a British accent now, I feel like. But I'm not from here.
Well, I don't know. Maybe yes.
I'm not from here though, so I don't know. But
Well, yeah.
I feel like you've done very well, you know, getting...
I'm trying to adapt it.
And then we started shaking hands and I started the clock.
But I'm scared, you know? He said that you're very strong, so I'm scared.
You're too kind for me now.
He went e4, I played c5, he went d3, and I realized that he was playing very quickly.
Okay, but you're a FIDE player, yeah. Are you a bullet player?
That's why I asked him if he was a bullet player, because I quickly realized that this guy is very experienced when it comes to fast chess.
No. But like ECF, I go like 2200, about 2300.
Oh wow, so wrong. Well, I don't know.
ECF, it's kind of different.
Oh,
He attacked my pawn, I defended it. He was very friendly, we were talking a lot during the game. I don't know how focused I actually was. I played d5 and he instantly went e5, and I love these kind of positions because look, now my knight becomes so good and I'm able to push everything, and now I have this yummy square on e3 that my knight can go to, and I went f6, which apparently is a very bad move. I literally thought I had an amazing move here, but apparently I just didn't. But now I was very happy. The eval bar is kind of going up and down, but I was very happy because now my rook was going to be on an open file. He was taking everything, and now I felt like this had to be good. So I started doing the little bum, 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 bum with my head where I'm kind of analyzing, and I ended up taking with the rook.
Okay. There's a little rook going situation. I got a bit worried. Okay, but we're chilling. We're fine.
I moved my bishop.
Interesting position, yeah?
Yeah, doesn't look like. Oh.
I asked the guy next to me if this was an interesting position because I noticed that he was looking at our board more than his own. My knight was under attack, so I went back, and this was a horrible move because of that. And at this moment, I knew that I'd messed up.
Did I blunder?
I don't know, but I like my bishops.
He was moving the pawns a little bit with his hands, and that's when I knew that things were going wrong. And this table was so wobbly. I felt like the whole table was gonna fall down. But now I was really stressed because there were lots of people that were watching the game, and I had won many games in a row tonight. But this time I knew I was in big trouble.
Oh, but it's okay. Why am I stressed? I don't... it's not okay.
I thought it was okay, but it wasn't.
It's not okay.
I kept thinking I wanted to find a way of getting out of this, but this was just such a bad situation I'd put myself in, and I didn't know how to save any piece. The problem was also that, as you can see, his light squared bishop is looking towards my other rook. So even if I go rook e6 to defend my knight, he will just simply go knight takes knight, rook takes, and then after the trade says bishop takes a8.
Talk to him! Distract him! Do something!
I asked the guy next to me, who I called the Italian guy because he has a very big Italian accent. I've played him before. He's very nice. I asked him to distract my opponent because I was just in such a lost position.
It's not allowed.
Maybe, wait, I have an idea.
Well, I'm still winning.
Thank you. He wanted to take away his rook, which I appreciated. But things were really dim, and he had more time than he had started with.
How did this happen?
I was gonna lose so much material. I decided to take, But now move my bishop to defend the rook. But I now realized that he also had this check, and then he was able to bring his rook. I only had 15 seconds left. I took that pawn. But he was able to get his queen in, and I really wanted to trade some material, but I just knew that that was really difficult. Now my bishop was under attack. I decided to threaten the queen, and then I blundered the rook, and then I was in complete despair, and I resigned this game. Everything went wrong. First, the first piece.
No. You didn't do a good job. Okay, no. You know what? I want a rematch.
But then I said, I want a rematch. And this time, I knew how strong he was.
Money on the line? No. I wouldn't put any money. No.
All right.
The Italian guy wanted to bet 50 euros on me because he was so sure I was going to win this next game, and I couldn't believe it. I told him to not bet on me. But he said, Anna, I believe in you from the bottom of my heart. I'm trying to put an Italian accent, but I'm not trying to do it.
Yeah.
You quit your job as a
I quit my
cheerleader.
job.
Yes, okay.
I'm just fast.
Okay, tell me.
The Italian guy gave me some great pep words right now and was really motivating me.
Losing position and you can win.
Yeah.
But you only have one chance. Only one chance in the entire game.
Okay.
I believe it.
You played him.
He even said that my opponent wasn't so strong, but just fast, and that I shouldn't be intimidated by him. But I felt like my opponent was super strong. But it was time now to try to win. So I played my favorite opening, d4, and now he was just playing this kind of weird thing where I didn't understand what he was doing, and I thought this must be one of his bullet tricks.
You feel it, yeah.
I can't play games.
He hadn't developed a single piece. He was just pushing his pawns, but I somehow knew that he was still gonna make this difficult for me.
Actually, I used to play like in tournaments, so.
And then he said he played this in tournaments, and I was just in shock. So I castled and he went g5, and I knew that now it begins. The attack begins on my king.
Yeah, it's crazy, no? He's so aggressive.
No.
This is a bluff.
I'll take it then.
He played h5, and I decided to take the pawn because I felt like he was bluffing me. He was trying to make me scared, but I thought that was a free pawn, so I wasn't gonna fall for his bluff. I decided to take another pawn. I was greedy in this game, but I just didn't want to have the sense that I was afraid. So I thought, you know what? I'm gonna take your pawns, and you gotta prove that you're gonna checkmate me.
Happen. Okay.
5-1 or 3-2. Well, they're almost the same, so it doesn't really matter. Let's see if I turn it on.
He went back with his knight, and I just wasn't sure exactly of what to do because my king was looking very scary with his rook looking at it and several of his pieces being able to make it there soon. I decided to trade off that knight and then go bishop g4 to try to trade my bishop too, because I thought the more pieces I trade, the easier it'll be for me to defend because he will have less pieces to attack me with. So I went bishop f5 with the idea being that if he takes, I'm able to take with the pawn, but instead he moved his knight up to f4, and I think here he was quite happy.
No.
You are just bluff.
Okay.
Okay. Now we're taking it too far.
The Italian guy was giving me some more pep talk, saying that he was just bluffing, and I hear
When he sucks something, you get flat.
wasn't sure if I should take the bishop or the knight. I decided to take the bishop, and now I was looking at if there's any way for him to sacrifice, but my two knights are actually defending my king very well. My knight on e1 is defending the pawn on g2, and my knight on e2 is also right now threatening to trade off his knight. And if I trade off that knight, I thought that I would have a very fine position. I'm still 2 pawns up, so
If I don't get checkmated, it's good. Ah, there's a picture.
now someone decided to take a picture, so I was smiling and taking the picture. The camera was kind of moving around. I wasn't sure what was going on with it. I was just hoping the camera wouldn't fall down. And he ended up playing bishop g5. And I quickly thought that, okay, I should trade off those knights. He only has one minor piece left. And it should not be so easy for him to checkmate me with just one minor piece. It's very difficult to checkmate with all the major pieces, like the queens and rooks. So I started feeling much better here. And I thought maybe my f5 pawn will be weak. But that's not really such a big issue. He played this crazy move, bishop g5, which I thought was so nice. Because if I take that bishop, he's going to checkmate me. But I just went queen g4, and now I felt like I had everything under control. I was pushing back his pieces. Sure, I wasn't able to really threaten his king, but I was still 2 pawns up in this position. I was really looking at making a move such as f4, which I thought was maybe a little crazy, but I decided to just therefore play against his king. So he brought his rook in, and now he had all his 4 pieces looking at my king, and I went queen f3, which is actually a mistake because he can go bishop takes h4, which I instantly saw. And at this point, he had 2 minutes and 44 versus 50 seconds. And now the issue is that if I take that with that bishop with the knight, he's going to take my knight with the queen, and my pawn is pinned. And if I take it with the pawn, yeah, he was also going to take it. So I decided to go queen g2, but now the tables have turned because I've lost one of my 2 extra pawns, and he has a lot of activity against my king. So I had messed up here, and he knew that he had now had very good chances, and my plan was now to just simply go after his king. But the game was far from over. He took the pawn on c4, which I thought was very brave, but it's apparently a very good move. I went rook c1, threatening his queen, and now his queen had to find a good place to go to. My pawn on f5 is also weak, so I was maybe going to lose the 2 pawns, but my rooks were now going to start attacking his king. So he went queen d4, and I went rook b6, threatening the pawn on a6 and the pawn on d6.
Maybe don't take right away. Surely. She knows the moves. When I went
Now he was thinking about where to go. Should he move the king? Or how was he going to be defending? He went king c7. And for me, it seemed pretty clear that, well, I should check him and get the king out of there and then take that pawn. But then I maybe regretted not playing rook b1. I wasn't sure what was best. So I went rook b6 here. Now, many people were looking at the game. This was the important rematch, and I really wanted to win this game against what felt like an impossible opponent. I was thinking, will he take my pawn on a2? But then I thought, maybe I have rook b7 check. So he went rook b8 instead to just play a little bit more safely, and I really felt like his A-game phase was on right now. Now it was not jokes or anything. Now the game was fully serious, and we both wanted to win more than anything else in this moment in time. So we traded rooks. He took the pawn on a2, and I was now afraid it was the same amount of pawns that we had. I checked his king. The king went back. Now, I didn't know how to continue my attack. I didn't even know if I had an attack. So I played f6 with the idea being that I'm removing 1 square for his king to go to. And I had now some very exciting moves. So I thought he was just going to check me, go queen d1 and check. And then just do a million different checks, and I was really afraid. I thought I was just losing. So after queen d1, I thought if I go king h2, he can just go queen h5 check, and then after queen h3, he can go rook takes f2. But now he went queen f3, and he blundered because I have queen b5 check, and because of my pawn, the king cannot escape, and it's going to be checkmate. And so I won this game. And the Italian guy was very happy. People were applauding, and I was so happy that I finally beat this very difficult opponent who's just such a strong attacking player.
Where's my...
It's check. Rook, the only move is king d7.
Oh, here, mate, here, right?
Yeah.
And we were talking about a few different moves that I had seen, and it was really fun. So it ended up being 1-1, and after this, I thought, I don't want to play this guy anymore because I might lose the next game. So you gotta be smart about this. You play a strong player, and it's 1-1. You don't always have to agree to play the decisive game. Anyways, this was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed my time here at this place in London, and I want to give a big thank you to my opponent for playing me these games. It was a lot of fun, and I hope that you all enjoyed watching this video, enjoyed watching these games, and if you did, do please subscribe to the channel as it means a lot. Thank you so much for watching and have an amazing day. Bye bye.